I've never done a tutorial before, so we'll see how this goes. So this process is really easy. I'll talk about if you don't want to take it as far out as I do. You can really do whatever you want with it, but it's quite simple. So I've done my foundation and my eyebrows. The next thing I'm going to do, which is really important, is the primer. This is my favorite one. However, I have another cheaper one that I use that also does the trick. This one here, this is just drugstore, because this is really expensive, so I don't use it except for special occasions. So I'm just going to prime. And then since I take it out here, I'm going to prime the edges as well. And then, oh, my fingers were dirty. Hang on. That's fine. So I'll reprime that. Okay. So this I take a little extra time with to make sure it's really in all the creases. I take it right down, right up, so that I know it's gonna hit every spot right in the corners of the eyes. Right up into my temples. Now, I did put a little bit of concealer underneath. I can touch that up afterwards. Okay. Tape. This is my favorite one. Don't know why. I just like it the best out of all of them. So I take about that much. And then I fully relax my eyes. Like that. And then get the angle that I want, a little bit underneath the eye there. So I'm going to do the same on the other side, fully relaxed eye. Piece of tape. Now, I could be done here, but I find I get a lot of fallout. So what I do is I just lightly tap on a little bit more so that when there is fallout, it happens on the tape and not on my face. And then I find it gets a little bit on the corners, so I tend to put just a little bit there and a little bit here. So this is kind of what makes the process happen so quickly, the masking. So I've got my primer, I've got everything ready. I don't know where I got this brush. I don't use any fancy brushes for any of this. And I use the same brush for all the tones. And so I have this by my desk all the time too. And I just rub off whatever was on there. It doesn't have to be 100% perfectly clean. I used a brown last time I did this. You can use any color palette, but so the trick is, so I'm going to do just 4 colors, and I'm just going to use purples. You can use browns, you can use, well, any colors that you want. You can, sometimes I get a little fancy with using purples and pinks or something within the same color family, or greens and burgundies or whatever. But the whole point is to pick some shades light to dark. So for this, actually I'm going to use 5 colors, but I'm going to mostly be using this palette. My hair is purple. I like how purple looks on my skin. So the shades I'm going to be using for this, I'm going to start with this lightest one. I'm going to go over top of it with this one here, this purple there, I'm going to come in and start building in a deeper shade. Then I've got this little purple palette, and I find this first palette can be a little electric, so I like to just desaturate it a little bit with one of these darker purples, more muted. And then instead of doing a winged liner, I tend to use a black and just kind of, well, I'll show you. Anyway, so let's start. So I'm just going to take that lightest shade and I'm building like right up there. Don't be afraid to use, and of course I take it further back. You definitely can stop where I had initially stopped. So I just do that really quickly. I'm gonna do it on the other side. Okay, so that's it so far. I'm going to dust off my brush a little bit. I'm gonna go in with that slightly darker purple and just go a little bit below it. So that's done. Do the other side. And I'm just kind of bringing it up into that lighter shade. Done. So next is going to be quite the jump in value, so the darker shade. So what I'm going to do to kind of transition it, I'm going to take that purple I just used and go down a little bit further with it on both sides. Now I'm going to take that darker shade. I first go in the crease like that. Then I'm going to pick up more and I kind of start from the bottom, and then as more of it gets off the brush, I start pulling it up in there. So I'm getting a bit more of a transition, and then again you can stop here, but I like to build it all the way back. So I'll do the same on the other side. And just once the brush is mostly clean from packing it on the lower part, I just kind of bring it up a little bit. So this is where we are now. You can stop here. I like to go a bit more dramatic. So like I said, I like to tone down how vibrant this can be a little bit. So I'm using this kind of muted purple. It's not that muted, but, and then I take it on my lid there and then just keep it towards the bottom and drag it through. And do that on the other side. Keep that towards the bottom, drag it through. There we go. Now I'm gonna have to blend that a little bit more. It shows up a little bit more on camera than it does in real life, but whatever, we can do that fast. This is where I'm gonna take my black. I'm gonna tap off the excess. So this is kind of how I do a winged liner without doing a winged liner. So I just take it on the outside and just drag it towards the bottom only. And then I get kind of that wing liner, and then I'll blend that afterwards. There it is on both sides. Okay, so now it's just time to blend. So I'm going to clean off my brush. Now in the mirror, this looks pretty blended, but in this like light, especially this side, you can see it's not as blended. So I'm gonna go back in with, Actually, I'm gonna mix, no, I'll just go in with that third tone that I use. And it's tough because it looks blended in the mirror. It doesn't look blended on here. Okay, so that's starting to blend it. So now I'm kind of just looking in there. And then what I can even do is take, okay, so I'm gonna take the second color that I had and I'll paint it right. So that'll lighten it up. I'm gonna take all of that off the brush and just blend the whole thing together. Okay. Now, so that black isn't so harsh, I'm gonna take the fourth color that I used and just blend that out a little bit. That took down the harshness of it. Do it on the other side. So anyway, because you have the tape there, like if I just sit here, don't talk, not do anything, not even 5 minutes to finish this, but you know, 5 minutes. So lastly, once that's all done, I mean, at this point I can take the tape off. And I've got a little bit of cleanup to do. Usually I don't have any cleanup to do, but oh, I got black all down here. I don't know how that happened. But you can see why I put so much tape on my face. And I'll clean that up and fix it after. So at this point I have two options. I can go underneath. And what I'll do sometimes, I'll take that second shade, put it underneath, then take the fourth shade and go kind of to the corner just to bring it in, but I'm not going to do it this time. I'm just going to take my concealer and a brush and clean this up real quick. And that side seems fine, except I got a little bit of makeup there. Wipe that off. Okay. So at this point, I like to do a little bit of highlighter. So I really like Fenty Beauty, the Rose Gold one. I find it goes with all of my makeup. And so I'm just gonna tap the brush in there, kind of do it along my eyebrow. Now the thing is, if you want your colors to mix a little bit more, you can actually bring it down. But the thing we know about hooded eyes is that you should never do shimmers unless, the only place I do shimmers is on that brow bone and in the inner eye. So I'm going to pick a shimmer. I'm gonna do a pink shimmer from this palette. I like this pink shimmer. I'm just gonna go on the inner edge. I could even brighten it up a little bit, but I like adding a little bit of pink to all the purples because it just makes it feel a little more alive, less monochrome. And then I'm gonna take this gold and just pack it right in the corners. There. After that, it's just eyeliner. I don't really wear much mascara, but very important to me, waterline. This is drugstore, Revlon So Fierce. I went to replace it the other day and I couldn't find it, so I don't know if it's discontinued. I certainly hope not, because I really like it. My fingers are usually pretty dirty at this point, so I take there's a piece of toilet paper, draw my waterline. That's it. Draw. So this is Urban Decay Perversion. Any liquid liner will do, but I have to be a little bit careful because the little fibers, I'm not careful enough with it when I close the thing and just swipe. I am very shaky as a person, so that's why I do so much masking. Then I just need to come in, get the inner part of the eye, other inner, too much caffeine, not enough food today. Right, and we're good. Just for the sake of it, I will do the under part of the eye. So I'm just going to take that second shade. I'm just going to drag it all under like that. I'm going to take a little bit in the eye. I'm going to take my third shade and just build it towards the outer corner. And then this is where I'm going to take my black and just right at the very corner. Like that. That's it. Easy peasy. So like I said, you do that masking, you pick some shades that will blend well together, and it just goes on very, very easily. This lighting's a bit harsh, but it is a bit softer when I look in the mirror. I mean, it's still pretty dramatic, but yeah, you could stop where you take that shade up. Now, what I would do on camera, this doesn't look very blended. So that's really simple. If you have harsh lines like that, I'm just gonna take my lightest shade that I used first and pat a little bit on there. And then just blend that out. Probably have to get my eyebrow drawn in a little bit more. That's fine. Do your eyebrows second. I like to do them first because I want to define them a little bit more. But yeah, that's it. It's easy. And then, so with my eyes fully relaxed, now what I could do there with my eyes fully relaxed, you see it comes down a little bit. That's a simple enough thing to fix. I'm just going to take that side. I'm going to start with not black because I want to define it before I go too harsh. And then just going to drag like that. Let's see how this side's fine. This one's not as hooded, so it's a little bit easier. And yeah, I'm just going to go in with black on the very corner. And there with my hoods fully relaxed. Then there's still a lot of color. Now, what I could do, the thing is my hoods aren't always fully relaxed. Like we talk, and I think a lot of us have learned to raise our eyebrows to compensate. I know I have. So I could take the dark up a little bit higher, but I'm fine with this. It works for me. Anyway, that's it. Really quickly, really easy, without talking, 5 minutes, done. With some practice, like anyone can do it. Okay.